Welcome to the stage of history. I am your illustrious host, Kevin Uncanny Anytime. Heading on my way home recording this right now, y'all. Got a nice straightaway, few miles, about 15 miles before I get home. Give me about 15 minutes to go deep into this topic here. And so, as I've said before, we'll get right into it. The topic for today is establishing boundaries with yourself. What is that all about? Well, it helps to do that to allow you to be able to establish boundaries with other people. So we go into the realm of thinking, okay, I need to establish boundaries around X person trying to do X to me, right? Or be in my situation or infiltrate my thinking with their projected thoughts or whatever the case may be, right? However, have you ever considered establishing boundaries with your own self? And that's probably why people infiltrate your bounds to begin with. And so I'll apply this to me. As I've always mentioned to you guys, I love beautiful women. And so I need to establish boundaries with myself as far as the type of communication and my intentions of when I communicate with these beautiful women. And so that is a very intricate, detailed parameter that you have to abide by. Your guidelines of too far and not too far have to be strictly enforced with yourself. Once you're able to do that with yourself, then it'll transcend to other places. So I had the joy of having my son's and daughter's mother, Shay, give me the insight to view all women for this time period as brothers and sisters, or not brothers, but as sisters, right? And so that helped me to really see from a godly perspective, from God's point of view, of how we actually all are on this earth, or initially, right? Obviously, I want to get married. I'm not going to look at everybody as a sister all the time. There's going to be one that I love more than that, right? But at the same time though, that type of bond, that type of love is very close to unconditional. Very close. So the one that you do choose, speaking to myself and you guys, the one that you do choose that you want to be with for the rest of your life you have to have that type of connection. It's got to be in that realm of, okay, hey, I see this person and I recognize that they'll have flaws, but hey, we in it for the long haul. We're in it until, right? And that's one of the ways you can look at this, okay? Relationships and the opposite sex and all of that stuff is an easy topic to dive into. So that's why I'm using that as a example. Because when we interact, and some of the women, they know, man, that I've interacted with, they know they got ulterior motives talking to me, dude. And that's okay, because I have to establish the boundaries within myself first, and then it'll transcend to the other people, the exterior, right? You can control yourself. Most people are not going to just blatantly attack you. I've had that happen before, though. I've had some people run up on me like, hey, I'm going to be very aggressive with you in my speech and in my approach. And that sometimes takes you back, because if you don't get that a lot, then you have no training in it, then you're going to be totally blindsided and you might just give in, which I have on a few occasions. Not just being 100 with y'all. This is an honest man here before you, all right? But no, listen, so what you want to do is you got to rehearse these things. You got to think about these things. You got to meditate on this stuff as far as, okay, what issues am I having with people and boundaries right now? And then think about yourself. Okay, what issues do I have with what I allow in my life and my personal things that I need to work on. So you can also turn it into food. Do you not apply boundaries to the food that you eat? Are you just like, nope, I'm gonna just eat whenever I feel a little bit of hunger, I'm gonna eat? That's the same thing, y'all. That's the same thing. So it's like you can apply that and translate it to, oh, every time a beautiful girl comes up to me, we got to talk, we got to go mess around, right? No, you don't have to. You don't have to eat either. You don't have to eat every single time you feel a little bit of hunger. It's pretty much the same mechanistically, if you think about that, right? So I only bring that up again because the principle of that situation is applicable to so many different areas of your life. Now, I just matched this exact same mechanism to food. So if we apply it to food and it's like, oh yeah, I'm just a little bit hungry, or I want something tasty. I totally can identify with that too. I want something sweet. I want something sugary. You don't have to act on that. That's establishing boundaries with yourself, being like, nope, I'm not going to do this. Me, especially with fasting, it's like, if I specifically say, hey, I want to intermittent fast, you can't eat no matter, depending on the time that you decide to eat at the end of the night, you got to make sure you set a timer for the 16 hours and don't eat until that 16th hour to get that full intermittent fast in. That's setting boundaries with yourself, and you got to practice that. And fasting helps. Abstaining from food helps. Abstaining from women and talking to them in a flirty manner helps. Right? There's a bunch of different ways that you can see this in your own life. I just gave you 2 examples. You can see this in your own perspective, and you know exactly what you need to work on. I don't have to provide the example and you'd be like, oh, okay, now I can identify with it. No, you know exactly what you need to work on. And with that, you got to be stern. You have to be disciplined. You must establish boundaries with yourself, and then the rest of the world will follow. If you internally don't have these boundaries, people are going to go beyond the bounds. Why? Because you internally don't have them. You're not emanating that frequency. You're not holding that vibration of, yo, I got strict boundaries with this. So really, really, really think about that. And it's not easy, y'all. I'm not telling you something that's, oh yeah, this is very simple. This is a very simple thing. It's simple in theory. It's simple in thought. But as far as the application of it, it's going to take practice. It's going to take work. It's going to take failing. All of that. You're going to be feeling silly for sometimes giving in. You're going to feel bad for sometimes knowing you said something that was alluding to something else. And you're like, man, I shouldn't have done that. You're going to go through that. That's okay, though, because that's part of the process. It's not going to be a perfect system right away. Riding a bike, walking, talking, all of this stuff, y'all. It's how we operate. It never is perfect right out the gate. Don't expect that. There's going to be a lot of practice in the background and a lot of thought and a lot of meditating on this particular subject, whatever you decide. And really practicing and really making sure that you rehearse. Okay, if this happens, then what am I going to do? And then if you run into a situation that you've never been aware of, using that as one of the rehearsals. Okay, now I failed on this one. I ran into this situation. This happened. Okay, so now let me use this in the future. If this happens again, if this same scenario happens again, which very may well happen. Okay, because that's how patterns end up showing up again. Then you need to rehearse that and be like, nope, okay, I got to make sure if this person says this to me, I don't bite on the bait. Or if I see a bunch of cookies in the kitchen, I don't bite on the bait. Okay? It's going to present itself to you to see if you're ready to move on. And if you're not, you're going to go through the same pattern, and it's not going to be readily visible to you. It's not just going to be starkingly like, oh, wow, there it is. No, you're going to have to really, really be present and really perceive, like, what's going on here? What's happening? Why does this keep happening? And it's because you need to work on it. It's a presentation of, hey, can you handle this? Oh, you can't handle this? Oh, okay, well, let's present it at another time, and we'll see if you've worked on it. So pay close attention to yourself, y'all. All right. But here, I'm coming up on the exit here. Hopefully this car wasn't making too much background noise, but always remember, y'all, it's a mindset thing. Mindset matters more than anything else. All right. Ensure that you focus on the good. They're all lessons. Don't worry about the failures. Don't worry about the things that, you may have slipped up on, or blah, blah, blah. That's going to happen because it's part of the learning process. Okay. Focus on the good of it. I'm learning. I'm growing. All right. Love you guys very, very much. Have a fantastic rest of the day. And I'm going to Fridays are going to switch up. I'm going to try and show you guys some great positive news. I'm going to be reporting good news. I don't see any news channels, any people really reporting that right now. So that's going to be my new initiative, is to find some good news and to report it to you guys every Friday. All right. So you'll have Monday, Wednesday mindset topics, and then Fridays I will be reporting good news, and we can be very happy that there are very positive and great things happening in the world, right? And yeah, that just came to me, so I believe that is what God wants me to do, so that's what I will do. All right, have a fantastic rest of the day, and I will see you guys Friday. Anytime,